In the background here, you can see a typical marsh. This is what most people think of when they think of wetlands. This area tends to have water year round. It has lots of lush vegetation, has lots of nutrients. And one of the things you can see is that this area, this particular marsh, has a fair amount of diversity. There's floating pond lilies, there's cattails, there's some shrubs here in the foreground. And it's a little harder to see, but there's different sedges and rushes out in this wetland, so it's rather diverse. Some wetlands, especially if they're more shallow, can start to get taken over by invasive species, things like this reed canary grass that I'm holding. Interestingly enough, for a while the Department of Agriculture was recommending farmers plant this for an erosion stabilization measure. At the same time, our Department of Natural Resources was trying to get rid of it because it'll get into wetland areas and just take over. We also have some invasive cattails. Narrow-leaf cattail can come in and take over a marsh area. And we do have a native cattail called broadleaf cattail. The narrow-leaf can actually outcompete them. And interestingly enough, those two plants have actually hybridized, and now they have a hybrid cattail that can kind of take over and outcompete both of them because they really thrive on nitrogen and they do very well in these environments. Another invasive plant that you may hear about is a really pretty purple plant called purple loosestrife. You tend to see it in August. Europeans brought it over to plant in their gardens and it escaped out into the wild. Here at Michigan State University, they actually did some trials to see if they could bring over a beetle from its native habitat over in Europe and see if they could release it here and have it eat the purple loosestrife and not harm other species. And it turned out that was the case. So now around the state, they've released this beetle to help control the purple loosestrife. So again, marshes tend to be very nutrient rich as opposed to the bogs and fens, which are nutrient poor. And they can be very diverse areas, but they can be taken over by invasive species. So that's one of the threats to them.
Take a look at the link below to see more information on the wide variety of plants and animals that utilize these emergent marsh habitats.